What's that, baby?
Yeah, thank you for letting us know. It's always nice.
What? Oh, when you go live. Oh, when I go live? Okay.
I mean, Stacy don't have a lot to worry about. I know. It's a lot more dangerous for me not to know.
All right. We're going to do Innerspace. Does anybody know which class this is? 22, 23, 24? What Innerspace?
I want to say it's 24.
24?
What page? Do you know what page we were on?
Yes, we're on page 94.
Page 88 was number 19.
Sometimes I write it on here, 94.
And I don't think you didn't mention it, or I didn't get it. Because I've been gone too. That's the other thing. I've been gone for...
Anybody remember?
3 weeks or so.
Hello, everybody.
All right, now, Interface number 21.
When we started the Part Two theme, was that 21?
That's when we started the Part 2 theme, is 21.
So this one would be 22, correct?
Correct.
I believe it's either 22 or 23.
Because we're on 94, that's just one page over.
Okay, we're going to call it 22.
It's 22.
It's just 22.
Are you going to do any more on Samson today?
That's a wrap. Samson's a wrap.
Okay. So what, where are we at on 94?
So we're at third paragraph. This is also hinted in the verse immediately preceding ours. God said, "Let us make man in our image and our likeness." And what we're going to do, after I read our prayers and everything, we're going to go back a little bit because it's going to be very important. We are going to talk about Part 2 theme, and we got to get our mind wrapped around it, because if you understand Part 2 theme of God, you understand the God of Israel. Okay? It's very important. Very important. So, today we get to study Torah for the sake of heaven. We'd like to give the Torah and the merit of our Torah and study to Israel and all Jerusalem. Stephen King, Avraham Ben Moshe Gilla, Ed Stribling, Linda Ford, Carla Serio, Brandon Walsh, Raymond Rosentrager, Book Gibson, Paul Navarez, Garrett Mattlage, The Patients of Texas Oncology, Rita Wilson, H. Ellen Betty McCuskey, Lola, daughter of Justin Lakeisha Neal, Berea One Staff, Elise Hagar, Nadine Freeman, Logan Willis, Billy Hope, Charles David, Rosa Hollander, Christopher Bederka, Noel Cardoza, David Douglas, Vicki McLean, Tom and Karen Maitland, Senator Hayes, Carol Tickle, Larry Langberg, Juliet Navarez, Blake Connor, Leela Briscoe, Sam Peake, Yehuda High Ben Matalea, James Lennon, Jacob, David Jenkins, Jake Suarez, Bobby Williams Sr., Sully Talamontes, the Rogers family, Holly Ward, Damian Washington, Carol Scott, Rabbi Richmond, Maurice Greenwood, Gracie Bell Linder, Brandy Boots, Amanda Elliott, Frank Pollard, Carol's family, Baby Denar, Michelle Manson, Jenna Marie, Kimberly Brown, David January, Kim Lively, Crespin Rodriguez, Sandra Hurth, Virgil William, Brad Mace, Jocelyn Liver Nickerson, Jerry Mattlins, Dylan Tickle, Amber Merchant, Simca Ben Avraham and family, Celinda Sheffields, Louis Gutierrez and family, Aaron Price, Jareth Carroll, Sonia Kinzer, Kathy John, John Michael Christopher Ramos, Gene Son of Jock Coates, Nellie Warlick, Tila Buello, Miranda Rosas, Jim Barfield and family, Naomi Bott Simca, Terry King, Ronald Whitlow, Kathleen Graham Walsh, Brandon's family, Mila Rose, Monica Johnson. Yesterday,
I'd like to add Sherry Meyer and Sarah Batsera.
Sarah Batsera.
And Sherry Meyer.
Sherry.
She's got cancer. They have
Meyer.
cancers.
Okay. Ed and Dottie Garrison, Moshe Solovechek, Donna Marie, Farrar Sajid, Vincent Ewing, Darlene Youts, Debbie Henson, Anita Jones, Jessica Ross, Doug Eldridge, Bryant Welch, Phoebe Bridges, Salvador Gutierrez and family, Jacob and Simca, Max Wagner, son of Marcy Wagner, Mark Mattlage, Emily Batova, Jackie Cup, Neen Bot, Marilyn, Carla Manzanares, Beth Carmen, James Rogers, Alton Tillman, Elvia Rosas, and Sarah Batsera, and Sherry Meyer. I think today's class is going to be cool. Root of the universe and master of all masters, Father of mercy and forgiveness, We thank you, our God and the God of our fathers, by bowing down and kneeling, that you brought us closer to your Torah and your holy work, and that you enable us to take part in the secrets of your holy Torah. How worthy are we that you grant us with such a big favor. That is the reason we plead before you, that you will forgive and acquit all of our sins, and they should not bring separation between you and us. May it be your will before you, our God and the God of our fathers, that you would awaken and prepare our hearts to love and revere you. And may you listen to our utterances and open our closed heart to the hidden studies of your Torah. And may our study be pleasant before your place of honor, as a aroma of sweet incense. And may you emanate to us light from the source of our soul to all of our being. And may the sparks of your holy servants, through which you revealed your wisdom to the world, shine. May their merit and the merit of their Father and the merit of their holiness, Torah and holiness support us, so we shall not stumble through our study. And by their merit enlighten our eyes in our learning, as stated by King David, the sweet singer of Israel. Open my eyes so that I will see wonders from your Torah, because from his mouth God gives wisdom and understanding. May the utterance of my mouth and the thoughts of my heart find favor before you, God, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen.
Amen.
And I'd like to thank everyone for making the conference a great success. It was really nice. Now,
Thank you.
it was awesome.
It was.
Okay. If you would, take your Interspace book so we can learn how to interface, and go to page 93. Let me turn this one on. Interface, what did you say, 23, right? On page 93. Verse 22. 22. All right. Now, if you will look, I never really knew, and Baxter and I worked on this today, if Kaplan really got it. Really got it. Kaplan really gets it. Mm-hmm. He really gets it. So,
Which Kaplan?
This one that
Ari Kaplan.
Ari. He really gets it. All right. And I'm going to take you through, and I'm going to show you how he gets it, and where he gets it, and why he gets it. And one place, although it doesn't, we blew right over it last time. Mm-hmm. We got to revisit it. Look in the second paragraph. The term used for Partsufim, see right there? Mm-hmm. Found in these three most opaque books of the Zohar. So he's going through the Zohar there, talking about those books. Sefer Denutza, Idra Rabbah, Idra Zutra. These are the concealed books these are the concealed books within Zohar that's within itself concealed, right? Mm-hmm. These mysterious portions of the Zohar contain much anthropomorphic symbolism. It is here, as well as the Partsufim are spoken of, constituting, underline this verse, a kind of archetypal family matrix. A family matrix. This is important. Okay? And then let's see here. We may even save that one. Okay, so we're going to work off this family matrix because I want you to understand Partsufim, and I want you to understand God. All right. Now, the book I'm reading now out of Song of Songs, and chapter 7, first verse. The Gaon of Vilna says, the entire Torah is holy, but only Shir HaShirim, Song of Songs, is holy of holies. Mm. Okay? Now, if you'll look in 7:1 at your leisure, it says, the nations have said to me, turn away from God. O nations whose faith in him is perfect, turn away, and we shall choose nobility for you. But I replied to them, What can you bestow upon a nation of perfect faith, commensurated even with the desert camps encircling? Now, this camps encircling, and we see turn away, turn away. You know, we've had the terms before, running to and fro, stuff like that. Turn away, and then camps encircling like a shark, just circling around them. This word here is this word we're going to learn today. It's called makulat or maklat. Okay, maklat or makulat. Now, huh? Just take a stab here and spell it M-E or M-A-C-H-L-O-T. Maklat. Or makolat. Okay. Now, this means to encircle, but what it really means is to dance. This is the dance of the Hasidim and the Guvarot. All right. So, what Ravali goes on to talk about here is what is happening to the Shekhinah and what is happening to Israel with the 70 nations. There is a dance going on. And with a dance, you need a what? You need a partner. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, in every dance, there is a partner. So, in Israel, the Shekhinah has a partner. But the backside has its own dance partners. Mm-hmm. And it's illustrated here by makulat, the thing that's encircling her.
The thing that's encircling.
Okay? What, it's kind of like the
whole wedding deal.
The whole wedding deal. It's trying to get in. Trying to, it's kind of like the wedding dance. And then I get to dance. And then they circle around. And then you get to dance. And then they all come in and they dance around. And they all come in and they all go out. Right? Y'all have all seen it. Okay? Dancing doesn't have to be just one or two. It can be a collective, a klal, or a prat. Mm-hmm. Okay? There's always fate in him. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, makulat is the daughter of Lilith. Remember when I was teaching the Samson deal, and I was talking about Lilith has two daughters. One's named Nama, and the other one's Makulat. And here's where we see her, because the Shekhinah is saying it's Makulat. You see, they're giving you the entire formula right here. What's going on? So, what is it trying to do? It's coming in, it's taking over, it's going out. It's coming in, it's taking over, it's going out. What do we see in 3D? Christianity came in, Rome came in, and destroyed Jerusalem and took it over. Mm-hmm. Okay? Then it left. Mm-hmm. And then Islam came in and took it over. Has not left yet. Christianity back in, let's say, from the turn of the century, even the 1800s, up until 10 years ago, encompassed the world. It was it. And now Christianity is just dissipating. And Islam is taking over. Mm-hmm. Islam's the going thing. And so what you're seeing is the backside dance of Hasidim and Guvarot. In with Christianity, out with Christianity. Christianity goes out, Islam comes in. Okay? This is going to be very important in our Partsufing, when we get into Partsufing with God. Jordan, could you turn the air down a little bit? Yeah. So, here's what happens. Makulat is the sister of Nama, the daughters of Lilith. Abraham had a son named Ishmael. Ishmael had a daughter named Macholat. Who's connected to Muhammad? Muhammad is her man. Does the picture start getting clearer?
Yeah.
Nama is a derivative of the word from like Nazareth. All right? And so, who do you think Nama's dance partner is? Yeshua Notri. Nama, Notri, Macholat, Muhammad. So, in space-time of galactic forces, we have Eve and Adam. The Shekhinah, Israel, and God. Okay? Zah and Nook. That's that whole thing. We're going to take them and we're going to set them over here. Alright? Now, we are going to take the backside, which is going to be the Samael and Lil, and their kids are going to be Nama and Macholat, with Yeshu Hanotri with Nama, and this is the Netzach and Hod, and Muhammad and Macholat on the other side. This is the Netzach and Hod of the backside. But what does the Torah say God did to the male Leviathan?
Castrated him.
He castrated the male Leviathan. So the male Leviathan has no children.
No children.
Which means it has no archetypal family
matrix.
It has no family matrix. Now, so what's going on in Islam?
Having a lot of children.
They is spiritually speaking.
Right.
Okay? Spiritually speaking, Muhammad left, Jesus left. You see the deal?
Mm-hmm.
They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
See it mirroring one another?
Yeah.
It's gone. So, Muhammad didn't name a successor. So his top student, who had its kids, took it over, and the Shiites and the Sunnis are those kids. And the Kurds are part of it. And so what do? They're killing each other, trying to figure out who is the archetypal family lineage guy.
Well, there is.
Yep.
And there is none. Why? Because the castration of the male Leviathan. What do we have over here in Christianity? We really don't know who Jesus' daddy is. And so we have to make up, he's God's his dad, because we have to have a lineage, an archetypal family. But Jesus never got married either. So he doesn't have any kids. So you see our problem with Christianity. All right?
So they made up their own. Are those?
Hold on. I'll go through it and I'll explain it all the way through. So there's nothing left over here in Islam, and there's nothing left over here in Christianity. There's no family. There's nothing to unify. So what do they have to do over here? Oh, Jesus, God the Father and Son and all of Mary, all of hell, they're all one damn thing. Because they're trying to create a family out of something. And it's ridiculous the way they're trying to make something out of nothing. It's ridiculous. It's retarded. All right? So we know in Judaism, the mother dictates whether you are Jewish or not, and the father dictates which kahal you're in.
Yeah, the lineage.
The lineage. So look at the backside, Islam. What they're mean as hell to their women. Okay? Just the opposite. So it's all women driven. All the focus is on there. And then over here, all the focus is on the kahal. Are you a Catholic? Are you a Methodist? Are you a Baptist? You see all the kahals, they're trying to make all the houses over here.
That's the first thing they ask you. Well, what church do you go
Yeah, what
to?
church do you go to? Because that's the Hesed and well, this is the Hesed and the Guva Road, and it's just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and so too it did on the land. It came into the land of Israel, and it left the land of Israel. It's coming into the land of Israel, and it's going to leave the land of Israel. It has to have the backside has to have its pay.
It's twin messiahs.
That's the backside
Backside of
Nakash.
that.
Yeah, backside Nakash, trying to get its familial line lineage propagated, and then there is none. So you get pedophilia over here, and you get all these different things. And this is the secret of Mattlage and Naamah, who are the two girls that come before Solomon and bring the kid, and he's going to cut it in half because he knows they stole it. Either way, because they have nothing of their own. You see. Now, so what do we see when we're talking about Judaism? When you're talking about Judaism, this is the God of who? God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Even in the saying who God is, you always include the family, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't not.
You give the lineage.
You always give the lineage to God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's how you know who you're praying to.
That's how you know who you're praying to, and that's how you know the difference between God and other gods. Yes. All right? And so without knowing Partsuf and the Partsuf of the family, you're never going to have the right God. And now we have the biggest kasha question of all time. To me, there's not one bigger. Okay? Can anybody think of what the biggest kasha question of all is? This is why nobody understands the God of Israel.
I have no idea. What's the lineage of God?
Yeah. If you have a lineage, no, exactly. If you have a lineage, you have grandpa, grandma, mom and dad. Mm-hmm. You got all these da-da-da-da-da. That's multiplicity. Mm-hmm. Abba and Ima is duality.
Mm-hmm.
Bifurcation. Ak, Arikon Pin, Atika Kadesha, Atikyo Min. Mm-hmm. Isn't that a bunch of stuff? How is a God who is multiplicity family one? Hashem, our God, Hashem is one. Let us make man in our image and our likeness. Oh, that's Abba and Ima. Any Kabbalist knows that. Well, what do you mean? I thought the Lord our God, the Lord is one. All right. So, now the stage is set. We can go in and we can look at the Partsufs and we can figure out what is going on. All right? When you say God is one, what are you declaring?
That you're a part of Him. That you're one with Him.
Yeah. And what if you are one with Him, and there's two of you, and there's you and Him, then you are becoming what? In
one union.
You are becoming in union. Union is the same word as unify. Okay? So you are unifying, you are declaring its unification to make family. Not the anthropomorphic Jesus and the Holy Spirit and God, they're all one thing. They're all the same thing. That's not what you're saying when you say Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. What you're saying is they come to unify. That's the one. They can unify and they can create a family lineage. Not only here in 3D Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the 12 tribes, and Joseph, and blah, 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 but also there. As we have studied in our Torah, throughout our Torah and in our Parsha teachings, when the angel of the Lord shows up, who shows up? Let me break it down a little bit lesser. Who was Jacob wrestling with?
Michael.
Was he wrestling with God? Yes. Was he wrestling with Samael?
Yes.
Was he wrestling with Michael?
Yeah.
Yes. You see? So when God shows up, what shows up? Everything shows up.
Right. All of God's attributes.
Everything. When God shows up, does Shekhinah show up?
Yes.
Yeah. When is Michael there? Is Raphael there? Is not everything there?
His entourage comes with him.
His entourage comes with him. Does the heavenly court not come with him? Absolutely. Okay. Is it Elohim? Is it Havaya? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yes. What is this big terminology for the totality that shows up? What do we call that?
The anthropomorphic family matrix.
Yeah, and it's got a name.
The Partoufi.
Yeah, but it's got a more specific name.
George.
314. 314. Gematria 49. How does the Partsufim and all at once come in interface with humanity?
Metatron.
Yes. Yes. This is how it does it. God is Metatron. Right. That's right. This is how it interfaces. This is how something so multiplicit can be so unifying and can be the totality of in one spot at any time it wants to, through its interfaces. Abba, Ima, Zah, Nook, doesn't matter. It can interface through any of it. It's the lenses it created or the spherotes that it has, and these spherotes are called Partsufim. Okay? The ability for the spherotes to interconnect and communicate and have union or zivug with one another, that is Partsufim. All right? That's how God's family is made. Now,
See,
God
that's the ability to share light. In Nekodim, they did not have that ability, and that's why they shattered.
Mm-hmm.
So in Beradim, that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Is that ability to share light and to have the hug and balance and all of this stuff going
It's
on.
called rectification. Now, did God, when we see using light. Without light, we can't see. Without the Partsuf, there is no interface or communication from God to Atzilut to any of the emanation levels. Creation, formation, action. There's no hierarchical, archetypical lineage. You know? There's no grandfather, there's no Arik, there's no Atik, there's no Abba, Ima, Zah, Nook. You see, there's no levels.
No trunk to the tree.
All right? But it doesn't say God uses light to see. It says God saw the light and it was good. So there's a part of God that's so far above the Partsufim, because you've already defined that Partsufim is light and the ability to share light. Mm-hmm. Yet God is above that because He saw the light. He don't need the light to see. He saw the light. You see what I'm saying? So even if you get above all of the plurality, there's still over unity.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It's called Ein Sof.
Yes, there and Adam Kadmon.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter. You can so the Partsufs allow you to zoom in and look at how God functions as a persona.
As the attributes.
And then all God can do is make a copy. So here's the Partsufim, stamp copy. Now it's a 4D thing we call Adam, stamp copy. Now it's a 3D thing we call Abraham, stamp copy. You see, it starts getting humanity. All right, it starts developing its humanity, because does God have eyes? No. But when God says He saw, when God thinks about sight, eyes show up.
Thank you.
You see, the vessel for eyes emanate, and then the rest of it fills, and then eyes appear. He's above sight.
Talk about the outer spectrums of Him. That's where He's seeing from above everything, but on the outer limit.
He's so high up. So what we have shown is we can see now through other religions why they have their issues in their familial deals. Why Jesus' dad is kind of a suspect, and his mom's kind of a suspect, kind of virgin, kind of maybe not, kind of maybe is. Did he get married? Did he not get married? Did he have kids? Did he not have kids? The whole Da Vinci Code. Now what are we going to do? Because they got to make him have a family. They got to make him have a lineage. If not, it dies. Without your lineage going on, you die. Same thing with Muhammad. It's the same dance of Hasidim and Guvurot on the backside. And that's why the lineage of Jew, Israel, Cohen, Levi is so important. That's why the fourth house is unholy. Because something comes from that backside and inverts itself and comes over here. It was never over here to begin with. So God just created something opposite of Himself. Something completely out of the Klippa, out of Avodah Zoa, that's now new, and that's called Gerim. Those are the 70 lights of the Zahara Ila'ah, the lights of Adam that were taken. Now, I don't know if y'all remember in my talk on Samson, I blew over it, but you have to understand, when we're dealing with the light of the eyes, Ab and Sog up there, the 72 name and the 63 name, the 4 Yuds in the light of Ab and the 3 Yuds in the light of Sog, those are the 70 Yuds. 7 Yuds. And a Yud is 10. Right? Those are the 70 lights. That's the emanation of the Gerim of all the nations. Way back there. This is what, and because it's coming out of the eyes, that's why they saw. This is everything that's being seeing, all right, from that coordinate. So it's very, very intricate to the Ger, this whole thing and this whole dance of what's going on. And so even though we can trace it all the way back to were we part of the original family lineage? Yep. As soon as you become Ger, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I was OG. I was back there in the mind of Adam Kadmon. You see, are you going to be in the lineage of Adam HaRishon? Nope, because that's what he was sent here to pick up, was you. And the lineage of Adam HaRishon is called the Jews.
And that's where they're getting that Jesus is. What you're talking about is what Jesus is supposed to be doing.
This is the whole backside soda Yeshu Sar HaPanim. Remember we studied that. Okay, now let's go through this here a little bit. So now we have a very good understanding. Let's read the next right after matrix. Arikon-Pin is the grandfather. Abanima are father and mother. Zeron-Pin and the Nukva are the children. Together they contain every element necessary for creating a complete human being. See what he just did there? Now that we have the background story, it makes sense. Furthermore, in contrast to the primitive Sphirot of Nekudin, the system of Partsufim introduces us to a dynamic process that involves God's unfolding plan for creation. These Partsufim constantly interact, thank you, Russell, with each other in an anthropomorphic manner, combining and separating, what's that called? Dancing.
Hooging.
And expanding and diminishing. They're hooging, right? In order to execute this plan. In particular, the twin Partsuf of Zeranpin and Nukva are represented in various states of gestation, birth, nursing, finally maturity, depending on their capacity to transmit divine sustenance in the universe that lie below in them. What do we call that? Passover. She was in Katnut. She was pregnant. That she had to give birth. She was too young. They had to do an episiotomy to birth the nation. Blah 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 blah. Yada yada yada. Ultimately, the Sphirot and Partsufim represent different aspects of God's relationship with man and creation. Since this relationship is a dynamic one, it's best described in these crazy anthropomorphic terms, which allows us to relate to God in a human way. How you have to get some humanity in God if you're human to relate to Him in a humanity way, or you have to be so outer body consciousness that you can relate to Him on His level. You know? Yeah, there's two ways to do it. All right? What happens? What's the danger when you make Him so human? You make Him into a man. Mm-hmm. You know? And Numbers 23:19 says, I ain't a man. Sorry. Yeah. All right? So we have to come up with a way we can communicate with God. Partsufim are the qualities of His light energy. They're the qualities of His light energy. Is it God or not? If you studied in 3D, it's always a dead-end answer. What you do is you have to analyze Adam Kadmon. And here's a very big concept. Adam Kadmon is looking at thought. I want you to think about that statement. Think about that. Where does your thoughts come from? Adam Kadmon is looking at thought. It's above thought. You know, oh man, I'm hungry. Where did that come from? Or, man, I sure would like to go get some yogurt. Where does that, it just pops in your head and you're like, well, go get some yogurt.
Yeah, but that doesn't exist with Adam Kadmon, because if he thinks yogurt, he is yogurt.
If he thinks yogurt, he is yogurt.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So this is the level that we can't even get to, because we have to think about something to think. And He's looking at thought, even His own. It's a big thought. That's a big thought. Okay? Now, we'll get into incest later. All right? It's a big deal.
The whole family can play.
All right? Because if you're dealing now look, if you're dealing with family, eventually you got to deal with incest. Judah and Tamar's kind of right? Lot and his daughters, Cain and Abel. They had to marry their sisters. If you start looking back and you start looking at some of these people and who they were with, it's very incestual.
Yeah, even Abraham.
All right?
Whole lineage.
All right, they have to go back to their own family to find somebody worthy enough to marry. It's not the klipa. What is that telling you? No. What is that telling you? Torah.
God's creating a lineage.
Yeah.
His
But is that incest holy of holies, or is it trafe of trafe?
It's holy of holies.
It's holy of holies. They are working in 4D. That's 4D light communicating with 4D light. You understand what I'm saying? When you think about it in an unholy way, you just concretize it here. You just put klipa on it. It don't have any on itself.
It's the beginning.
All right. These people are working in coordinates above your conceivable thought because they are working in Partsufi. Those are lights communicating with each other. Total counterintuitive with how we think. Okay? Let's continue. Where did I stop, Bruce? The truth is, however, that these anthropomorphs are no way meant to refer to God himself. By way of analogy, they are like series of minute filters that God created in order to allow us to draw near to him and still not be obliterated by his light. These are portals, coordinates that we can tap into. Okay? And this is going to get me on my Yahweh thing in a minute. It just drives me freaking crazy.
Me too.
You damn Yahweh people.
Yeah.
Good night. We now take these filters themselves and examine them. And they can be seen as a complex spiritual structure that are coded to perform certain specific functions. Taken all together, they resemble a master computer program. Using this last page sentence, using this computer analogy, we want to design a man around this functionality that God has set forth. All right. Look at first paragraph. This is exactly the way the biblical account for creation of man reads. Yaebre Elohim et ha'adam betzalmo. Genesis 1:26. This is traditionally understood as God created man in his image. However, the preposition be can mean in or with. In this case, the correct reading or translation is with. God made man with his image. He made copies of himself.
Made an avatar.
Yes. Not in, but with. Now, Rashi is going to nail it down right here. Rashi's understanding of this verse points to this conclusion. Since God cannot be described in terms of an image at all, right? His has the function of possessive, adjective, and the verse is referring to an image God created. If you understand this Rashi correctly, he is saying that the Tselem, the image, is the blueprint or the prototype that God created. He's creating everything in the image of Adam. Then he creates Adam. You see what I'm saying? This is the image of Adam. Now I can create Adam. But you've got to have something to make a copy of something.
Right.
All right? And that is created through the Partsufim of him, which
So we're working our way towards Adam.
we're just trying to get to Adam. That's right.
Okay.
We're just trying to get to Adam. Partsufim is just trying to get communicating the light down low enough that we can stamp that and make it an Adam.
The Adam we think we come from is God's image.
The Adam that we think we come from ain't but a copy of a copy so far. And that's and that copy has Partsuf in it. Mm-hmm. All right? So we're two copies away from Partsufing, so to speak. Well, and then you get the level of creation and Yetzirah, Berea, Yetzirah, and Asiya. You stamp 3 more copies out of that, and and then it gets so concretized. Then everything that's light is now flesh. Mm-hmm. Everything that was or with an aleph is or with an ayin. Mm-hmm. It's still light.
It's just concretized.
And now it's just concretized, and now it communicates The same way. How? Through family, through union. Same way.
Through Metatron.
As below, so above. Nothing any different. And so, what does God want to do to keep the family pure? Circumcision, Mila, Mikvah, blah, 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 blah. To fill in all the things. Keeping the family pure. Because if you let Klipa in up here, guess what? Klipa gets in up there.
Yeah.
All right? That was what the 10 strikes were, is getting the 10 plagues were to try to get the Klipa that had gotten in. All right?
Clean it out.
While referring to this macrocosm in general, this blueprint or prototype refers specifically to the Partsufim of Atzilut. This is also hinted in the verse immediately preceding the one we just read. God said, "Let us make man in our image and our likeness." Who's he talking to? The Partsufim. All of the pieces. Now, you can find it in the Zohar. God was talking to the angels. Well, of course.
He's talking to, yeah.
He's talking to the entire heavenly family. Let us.
His entourage.
His whole entourage. Which is the totality of himself. That he is looking at.
Bits and pieces of.
All right? God was speaking to all the forces of creation that he had brought into existence. Namely, the Partsufim of Atzilut. Now that he had been completed, now that they had been completed, they could all participate in the creation of man and crown the creation. It is for this reason that the verse is stated in the first person plural. Plural, us. Remember, there's a whole Zohar piece on this where Moses is. Can you turn the air down, Jordan? You're gonna have to put it down, then put hold. Where Moses comes to God and he's on the mountain and he's writing the Chumash, writing the 5 books down, and he gets to this they just get going in the first verse. They get to 26, chapter 1, verse 26, and Moses stops him and goes, "Look, we can't write this right here because they're going to make a religion out of this. They're going to say that Jesus was here. They're going to say everybody, they're going to have plurality." And he goes, and God tells him, "No, you write it just like I tell you. You leave that right here." What's he telling Moses? We can't have creation if we don't have family. So we must leave it. Let the heretic pervert it, but we still have to have our generations, our family. Okay? Now that they have been, for this reason, that the verse is stated, the first is from the plural, indicating that man would become a microcosm of all the forces of creation. Now, this is why the whole Yahweh people and all that stuff just drive me nuts. The divine name Elohim, mentioned here, contains 5 letters. According to the Ari, the 5 letters of this name allude to the 5 Partsufim of Atzilut. Okay? We can say Elohim is Bina. You can go there. But guess what? Bina is a whole Yud Hey Vav Hey unto itself. It's a whole Partsufim unto itself.
Right, that's because it has a sphere.
Because it has 10 spherot within it.
Yeah.
All right? So the whole Havayah, the whole Hashem, the whole name, Elohim, Adonai, Hashem, all these name functions are only formulas. They are not names. There's no such thing as the name. So to put vowels in it and to say it is blaspheming the whole deal. All right? So listen to this. You have Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, right? And Mem. Elohim. The 5 letters of the name allude to the 5 Partsufim of Absolute. The Aleph would be a reconpine. The Lamed points to the verb lomed, or learning, which represents Abba. The Hey is female. It is Bina. The Yud is masculine. It represents Zeranpin. And the Mem, it's feminine, right? This is the Nukva, the Malchut. So when you say Elohim, you're not just saying, oh, that's just kind of the left side. That's just really Bina, you know. I mean, if we really want to get down and dirty with it, when the Havayah comes into Elohim and we have all this thing, then we had the Yuv Hey Vav Hey, now it's working. No! Elohim is the totality.
Yeah, back to 1.
Because the Yud Hey Vav Hey is already in union. The family shows up. They are never not all together. You know, they ride in the same car. How many cars is it? It's one car.
It's a big car.
It's a big car. Right?
Like a Coliseum.
Yes. All right. Thus, when the verse says, and Elohim is speaking and says, let us make man in our image, it's referring to all 5 Partsufim is put into the essential makeup of man. Specifically, the Tzelem, the image aspect. Because the image aspect comes from the Yud, and the Yud is Zeranpin, used in creation. This indicates the final letter of the, not the Yud, the Vav. This indicates the final letter of the word Bet Zalom. Go back up there in the verse read about Genesis 1:27. See where it says Elohim et ha-Adam Bet Zalmo. Bet Zalmo here. Look at the last letter in there. It's a Vav. It can be read Batzalm Vav. That is, in the image of the Vav. Now look up here. Here's my Vav. Tip of the Yud. Tip of the Yud right there, I know. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. The 6 Midot is Zeranpin. That's the image. The 6th day, that would be Adam. And Noah is the 6th we've studied 1,000 times. He was 600 years old when he entered the ark. You know, 6, 7, it's all there. With this image of the Vav, he created him. The letter Vav has a numerical value 6, which represents the original 6 Sefirot from Hesed to Yesod that broke and fell into the universe of Tohu, of chaos. That's the Yesod. This is the 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the only piece of Adam. This is the only piece of the entire Partsuf of Elohim or Havayah or Zeranpin or any of it that's in the world of Berea. That's only it. That's why when this light gets concretized into 3D world of Asiya, it's called circumcision. That's it. See how it works.
Cut the clip off the mouth.
Cut the klipa off the mouth. This is the 6th Sefirot that characterizes the Partsufim of Zeranpin as it goes through initial stages of gestation and nursing. What do? You're a gestation little kid when you get to be 13 or 12 for the girl. Bar mitzvah. Now you have a different dispensation in your life. When you get to 21, different dispensation in your life. Nursing, child, adulthood. Just like anything else. The Leshem says, even in Adam Kadmon, we don't even talk Partsufim. Yet they're all there. Why? Because they're unified. They're one. The secret of the Shema is to unify and unite the Partsufim. The Partsufim that you were created with and by, that go from Asiya, and the Partsufim in Yetzirah, and the Partsufim in Berea, and the Partsufim in Atzilut, and the Partsufim all the way up through Never Not. You are unifying the name Shem Ma. It's here, but it's still the word shame in there, the name.
The attributes.
Yes, hear Israel. Hear my family. All Elohim, Adonai, everything is Echad. It's one deal. Okay? So, look what's happening. Why do you say, of course, Jacob said, blessed be the glory in the kingdom forever and ever, right? That's the second part. And you say it quietly and you say it softly. Like a woman whispering in her man's ear. Right? One is 3D, one is 4D. So the second verse is 4D. So it said softly.
That's why you say it aloud on Yom Kippur.
And that's why you say it aloud on Yom Kippur.
Because you're there.
Because you're there. All right? Because all the Partsufim are there. What's the one thing you don't do on Yom Kippur? Have sexual union. What's the one thing that's going on Yom Kippur up there?
Union.
Yay.
All right? Wrong feast. Because Baruch means to increase. Because he and his name are one. Baruch means to increase. That's right. What are you increasing? The space. The space-time. Vayed. This is, so the first verse is 3D and 4D, and the second verse is 4D into 3D. And then, as soon as you say the Shema, then after that you do the Shema Esrei. You see? That's the whole 18. There you go. You're making union with the whole Partsufim, the whole enchilada. Now, how much time we got there? We're pretty close, ain't we?
Yeah.
Going about an hour. All right. Well, let's stop right there. Thus we can begin. Let's start right there. And I hope that you have a whole different appreciation of God with its multifaceted personas, yet its complete unity, and what the backside tries to fabricate and copy in and of itself and on its own. And you can see how all religion has been formed trying to be Partsufim. So the Torah is amazing and the sages are amazing. I'm going to go to Israel for 2 weeks.
And I got the house myself?
Yeah. No class for 2 weeks.
What time's the party start?
All right. So we'll see you when we get back.
Just get everybody.